All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are getting started with the Cheektowaga Economic Development Corporation meeting, uh, Board of Directors, starting at 6 p.m. I want to do a call to order. My name is Rob Lowry, Board President, and we'll start with my right. Jason Makowitz.
Richard Willis.
David Tyka.
Paul Gilden.
Awesome, welcome. So our first agenda item, I'm going to actually make a motion to amend the agenda to add a executive session, which would be done before item number 7, the new business. So can I get a motion to make an amendment to the agenda and approve the agenda for executive session?
I motion to for that.
Have I heard it? Second?
I'll second.
Second by Ethan. Any discussion? All in favor by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. So our first agenda item is reviewing and approving of the minutes from September 3rd, 2025. Assuming that all board members had an opportunity to review the minutes from September 3rd, I would like to can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Motion to approve. Motion made by Jason.
I second that.
All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Robert. Just to go over last quarter's financial reports, we started with cash on hand at the beginning of the quarter, 563,000 23 with 49 cents. Had some disbursements in July, $2,400. We reported modest interest income of only $22.23. No payments were made. We have cash on hand at the end of the quarter in our key bank checking of 225,761.17 cents. Key bank savings account $47,105.09. M&T checking is holding 138,239.72, and our M&T savings account is holding $126,138.36 for a total of $537,244.34. Our KeyBank special account holds $23,412.12 for a total cash on hand at the end of the quarter of $560,656.46. That concludes the report.
I'll make that motion to approve the financial. Aye.
Discussion and votes to remove all signers from the bank account.
After reviewing the accounts, it looked like there were some old signers on there that no longer on the board that I needed to take off. Ed Halliday being one. I think that was corrected. And then there was another one we couldn't Rachel, I couldn't figure the name out because it was a blend of I don't know who the person was, so we have to get that taken off. It's just the 3 people that we want on there and the board committee now. Anybody else after that, just a letterhead stating to take them off. I can just take off everybody else. Didn't bring the signature cards with me. I just brought the depository certificate.
Not sure.
I was gonna say, can we just remove directors who are no longer on the board from being signers?
That would be what I think you can do, since they're no longer here. It's not like you're removing authority.
Yeah, just need the meeting minutes from that. That's all.
So we just need a motion to remove old signers from our bank account to add current board members to that account. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion. Uh, any discussion?
I can just type that letter up then. We can talk tomorrow about who needs to be on it or who doesn't.
Yeah, we can go through it one by one and.
Yeah, and then I'll send it to Robert to sign and then
Yeah.
we'll get it over to you.
Perfect.
We don't need to be concerned with the old board members.
They haven't touched it in
We
10
don't, we don't need them
No.
to sign anything.
No, not to remove, no.
Looking at our 24-25 annual audit discussion and vote, so I think Dale sent those documents out. Asking if there's any questions on there, anything we need to talk about regarding the audit.
There was no red flags or anything. Everything was pretty much typical from years past. They didn't have any concerns.
Yeah, pretty much straightforward, so. And this is a voting item. I always forget this portion. So we don't need to vote on the actual audit though. We just review it, correct?
We have to vote to accept it.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion or ask for a motion to accept the annual audit for 24-25.
Make that motion to accept the audit. Aye.
Now on to 627.
That's pretty straightforward also. We don't have a lot of expenses, just the professional services and our consultants that we pay. So it's pretty straightforward.
Is there any?
The only difference, we previously had a salary line. I know I mentioned previously, I haven't told all of you, but Jerry retired officially. So Dale and I are just picking up those duties as part of what we do. So there's no official salary line now coming out of the CEDC budget.
Any questions from that?
I'll make that motion to approve the budget. Aye.
On the next agenda item is status reports on prospective loans, and we'll have Mike from the Harrison Studio.
Sorry, no new loan requests this period. That the other Cheektowaga, want me to get into that or?
You can a little bit, yeah, like I mentioned, it's primarily through us, but we asked for the funding, the partial funding from the CEDC for the Maryvale senior housing. They have some necessary rehab work that needs to be done. So we're looking to combine some of our funding with some of the money that the CEDC has to help them out. And it's a decent sized senior housing project in town. So we want to help them out and see them succeed. So we're looking at a low interest loan to provide to them.
Yeah, it's very much into mostly, not mostly, but partially out of CEDC funds, but the loan could actually be made out to the facility. I've completed my underwriting and given a draft to Rachel. It's a tax credit project. That was how it started in 2007. So those are pretty structured. They're all pretty similar. There's not going to be a ton of room on cash flow, and that was consistent with what we found here. They're actually, based on how their mortgage was up to the end of 2024, they were not quite cash flowing at 1-to-1. They were able to refinance though, and based on the lower payment that they got, they recast it over 30 years, and they got a reduction in their property taxes. I think it will cash flow now at better than 1-to-1, including the repayment of the Cheektowaga loan, which at 470,000 is pretty small in comparison to their overall debt load. I think the biggest concern going forward is some other maintenance and, things they have to take care of in the property that could be, multi-millions of dollars, roof, refreshing the units, and how they're going to finance that. But those problems are a few years down the road. And frankly, I don't think making this loan would really affect that financing. It's not like they're not going to be able to do that because we did this. I think that's going to be its own issue. And they're going through the New York State Housing Authority for that financing, understanding that they're not going to be in compliance with LTV. They're not going to be able to get it through a bank. They know that they're going to have to get special financing through New York State, and they feel that they have the ability to do that. They work with, it's managed by the Rochester Cornerstone Group, has a lot of experience with these kind of properties. So they've been down that road before on properties like this. So that's their plan for that part of it. And like Rachel said, I mean, it's a 170 unit property, seniors, low income housing. They're still under their regulatory agreement from the low income tax credit deal. So the rents are controlled. And, personally, based on the repairs they're going to make, it's going to improve quality of life for residents. I think it's a worthy place to put the money.
And just to note, it is a loan, so where we have taken money back from the CEDC in the past, it will come back. We're looking at a possible term of 15 years, so it'll come back slowly, but it will come back. As far as 470 and 250 will come from the CEDC, and then the rest, the 220 will come from my office.
It's mostly going to redoing the parking lot, elevators,
Boiler.
sidewalks, concrete.
All necessary items.
Yeah.
Timeline on that?
As far as my part's complete. Rachel and I just have to get some paperwork, so I'll leave that to you, Rachel.
Yeah, I have loan documents that I'm currently working on, and because of the timing of everything, I've only been able to do half of the amendment with HUD for the first 250,000. So we're hoping to get that rolling because they want to work on the elevator and the boiler ASAP, obviously given the time of year that it is. So I'm hoping within the next couple weeks that we'll be able to free up the first half of it for them.
Yeah, of course. I didn't know. Did we say before we want to go into exec session or no? Is that
I think for our strategy.
we will? Okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go into general. Okay. So initially for the Hansley and Sausage Incorporated, that loan closed, that loan workout closed. We're checking to see if the ACH setup worked. Rachel and I were just discussing that, so we're very excited to hopefully get that online. Hopefully no more kinks to work through, and we're on schedule with that. And yeah, hopefully all's clear sailing. And for Gordon Companies, we had sent out 2 letters to them requesting financials and to give us an update on payment, get back on schedule, or basically get something. And to date, we haven't received any response, either our office, Hurwitz Fine, or CEDC. And so that one is a little bit of a question mark that we can talk about more later. And those are the only 2 active files that we have on the legal side right now. So.
Yeah, as far as the refinance go, we were able to get the ACH up and running with KeyBank. We had the first payment set up for today. I haven't had a chance to check on it to make sure. I don't see why it wouldn't have gone through. We went through the process but I will double check on that. So that's exciting that we got that up and running, and that's the only payments that we have been receiving.
pertaining to our loans. So can I get a motion? Motion made by Richard. A second by Jason. Any discussion? All in favor by saying aye. All right, motion passes. We're going to executive session.